Hello, entrepreneurs of the world. I'm Suvi, video producer to All Star Entrepreneurs. You're in for a treat because I am talking to the one and only Shawn Shepherd. Trust me, this is one interview that you're not going to want to skip over today. Now, Shawn helps family-owned business leaders achieve more without working 24/7. Doesn't that sound good? When not coaching or speaking, Shawn plays hockey on Tuesday afternoons, really practicing what he preaches. Cheers for the Boston Bruins. And he also hosts the Stop Stepping In Stupid podcast, where business owners share their biggest mistakes and lessons learned. Now, Shawn has just published the Stop Stepping In Stupid pocketbook. It is the no BS pocket guide to growing your business. Now, Shawn, how are you today?
I'm very good. And hey, Suvi, I know you're really busy and I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you very much.
I'm so happy. I mean, anytime I get to spend with you is always a reward, and I walk away with so much value. So I am so excited to jump in here and talk about your new book. Now, Shawn, who did you really write this book for?
That's a good question. So, like you said in the intro, it's for family-owned business owners and their leadership team. So the people that had the courage to actually start their own business and not simply just talk about it. They roll up their sleeves. They will do anything. They will work hard. They've gone through the sleepless nights. They probably maxed out their credit cards when they started. They work every single day because they love it. And they probably had a lot of naysayers that said they couldn't do it. One of the things that my clients have in common is they have a chip on their shoulder because people have said you can't do it or they will laugh. So they have a long track record of success long before meeting me. I take no credit for their success before meeting me. But the truth is, the days are actually getting longer for them and not shorter. And they want to continue to grow their business, but they also want to be at their kids' soccer game. They also want to take their families on vacation without being on the phone. They also want to have weekends without their phone, and they don't know how to do it. So I help them continue to grow their business without working 24/7.
Amazing. And who doesn't want that, right? I mean, as soon as you mentioned the naysayers, I'm like, oh my goodness, absolutely. The struggle between personal time and business time, that line gets so blurred. Well, I'm so happy you're here to the rescue. Now, the book is short. It can literally fit in your back pocket. What was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, it literally is a pocketbook. So, I did a LinkedIn post where it's in the back of my jeans, which I don't know if that's a good visual or not. Maybe I need to get like a butt model to do that shot. But yeah, it's meant to be short. It's not meant to be put on somebody's bookshelf, never to be read again. It's no fluff. The best strategies that I work with my clients on that they can immediately access. I want the book to be used. I don't want it I want it on their desk or in their truck or in the back of their jeans that they can pull it out, and that's their kind of playbook. You think of a sports team, they all have their playbook. This is the little playbook. And Suvi, it's so funny because I just got a message yesterday from a client and he said, dude, that's literally the first book in 10 years that I've finished reading because it will take you probably about an hour to read it.
Of course you would create a sports playbook for everybody. Of course you would.
So good things come in small packages.
Yep.
You don't need 500 pages to get to the point. Good things come in small packages.
Well, I love that. Thank you for being so thoughtful for the entrepreneurs out there, because me personally, and I know I'm not alone on this, but when I'm traveling for work and I'm on a flight, that's my time to catch up on my reading. And there's so many books that I'm behind on and I want to stack them in my bag, but it's too heavy and they're too big. But like that, I could just stick into my carry-on and away you go, right?
Yeah.
There's the Kobo.
127 small pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Kobo too, and I love the e-readers, but I still miss flipping through actual pages and having that tangible wisdom and information on hand. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. Now, okay, so why you, Shawn? Why did you write this book?
So the truth is, most business books are not written for family owned businesses. They're written for big corporations with big budgets and high priced CEOs and marketing departments and HR departments. They're not written for family owned businesses. I work exclusively with family owned businesses. I used to work for those big companies, but I work exclusively for family owned businesses. I wanted to talk to my audience, write a book for them that nobody else talks to. They have very specific concerns, challenges. Maybe it's a third generation, or maybe they hired their best bud from high school. They have really particular concerns
Mhm.
that very few people talk about. I wanted this book just for them because I've seen the before and after. You know, Suvi, we talk about that marketing. The oldest marketing is like the weight loss. Hey, there's the fat guy on the left and then there's the buff guy on the right. But we don't see the in between, right? I've seen the transformation with the owners that call me and they're proud and they've built their company, but they're stressed out and their family life and their health. So I've seen the before picture where they're stressed, and then I see after where their business is growing. The numbers are going, but more importantly, their life gets better. They get healthier. And I'll never forget having dinner with a client and his wife. And about halfway through the dinner, the client excused himself to use the washroom. And soon as he left, his wife says, he loves you because of all the business stuff. I love you because when he's home, he's home. He doesn't check his phone on the weekends. He actually has, breakfast with our kids and drops by at school. That's what I love about him working with you. And that's what I want. I want the book specifically geared to them. No bureaucracy, no BS, right to the point and building the business and life that they love.
Well, I'll tell you, I can clearly see and feel, and I know that other people watching this will agree. I can literally feel your passion and how personal and meaningful this is to you, and all the value that you've managed to pack into this little pocketbook. So it sounds amazing. And I know that those family owned businesses are going to be so happy to finally have a resource that's all for them, about them.
Yeah.
Yep. So who is this book not for then?
So very importantly, like I say this all the time in business, you should have who you're for, who you're a perfect fit for, and who you're not. And that's not being like a smartass. That's actually a gift to both parties. Oh, he's not for this. Okay, then I'll find somebody that is. When you niche down and specialize, it's such a gift. Everybody watching this, have the list of who you're for and who you're not for. That is a gift. But who is this book not for? It's not for anybody with an MBA. It's not for anybody that has 20 letters after their name. It's not for corporate CEOs that get paid a ridiculous amount of money but have never invested a dime of their own money in starting the company. It's not for people that are not coachable. That's a big one. You need to be coachable and listening. It's not for jerks. And I'm not saying that to be joking. Suvi. So I have a rule. When I work with somebody, we have to be able to go out for a beer and enjoy each other's company. It doesn't mean we have to vacation together, but if we don't like an hour over a coffee or beer, it's going to be a no to working to each other. So it's not for jerks. So that's who it's not for.
I love when you make that distinguish between the who it's for and who it's not for, because you're right, absolutely right. When you take a couple minutes to focus on who your business or service is not for, you're totally clear on half the battle. It's already laid out for you. Yeah.
Well, I remember doing a post on LinkedIn a while ago, and I used to work corporate. And I did a post. Basically, it's not for CEOs. It's not. If you have a marketing department and an HR department, it's not for you. I'm not for you. And I got two messages from old corporate saying, you can't say that. And I'm like, yeah, I just did. because I don't work with you anymore. Like, I couldn't have said that 10 years ago. So I do think it's a gift for, like, even if you go to the gym, hey, this is not for you if you work out twice a week. Okay, it's only for the if you're not working out 4 hours a day, this gym's not for you. I would want to know that up front because I probably wouldn't join, right? So,
Yeah, and it seems like a simple thing to think about, but it goes a lot deeper. It's so important to know what you want as an entrepreneur and know what you don't want
yes.
to keep
And
yourself in very positive situations.
yeah,
Great.
100%.
All right. So I know that you speak from a lot of stages, too many stages I can even think about. I don't know how you do it. They range from entrepreneur peer groups, national associations, leadership conferences. What are the most common questions people in your audience ask? And I'm so happy I get to ask this question because it's like the ticket to all the shows in like 3 seconds here. So we're like getting a free front row seat for a second.
So, yeah, these are questions that sometimes we do an FAQ at the end, but when FAQ, like a lot of people don't want to ask it in front of a couple hundred other people. So, these are more the questions that they ask me one on one after a workshop or presentation, or honestly, Suvi in the bar after, right? So, there's a couple one. Number one is on chapter 21, is kind of the answer. They wanna know how do they grow their business
Mhm.
because they can't keep growing, like, they're already maxed out. They're already working 18, 19 hours a day. How do they grow it without being burnt out? And so chapter 21 is start doing less, not more. Um, we talk about that because that is such a foreign concept for most people. They have worked so hard and they're so proud. And I'm not changing their work ethic or their values, but that actually starts working against you at a certain point. When you do everything and it starts working against you. So that's the number one question is like, how do I change that? And that's part of their DNA. The number two question is, how do I grow my company but stay true to the values and the history of the company? Because like I don't want a bureaucracy. And then do I bring in HR? And then it's like, so how do I grow it while staying true to my values? Page 88 in this beauty talks about that. And then the third biggest question, and probably I could do 2 hours on this, is a lot of outside people from their company and a lot of marketing agencies sell them a whole bunch of stuff that they really honestly don't need. So, chapter 15 is stop throwing away money and calling it marketing. I, my clients, their money, it's like it's my money. I don't want you to waste money on garbage. So for me, it's not, hey, I'm doing this, or I need TikTok, or I need Instant. Hey, the other competition's doing blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're playing their own game. Play your own game. For me, marketing is the getting consistent, right fit, qualified leads every single week. End of sentence. And it breaks my heart when people spend a lot of money on crap they don't need.
Absolutely. And if I can, without taking up too much time here, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit because I love everything you said. And I know that entrepreneurs will want to know more. Without giving too much away, for all the entrepreneurs out there who have 101 things on their to do list, how are they going to get ahead by doing less?
Well, it's interesting because if you are the person that does everything, what happens when you get sick? What happens when you're on vacation? And I think the truth is, and I've gone through this myself, and you met the one and only Camille backstage. The day that I stopped doing everything and hired well and let people play to their strengths, allowed me to play to my strengths. And I can measure the day that I hired Camille and she's part of my team, that my business took off. We can't see a future by doing the same thing over and over. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to keep getting the same results. The challenge is they've had some good results, but they're frustrated. So if that's not working, we got to do some different things. One of my clients who used to do all of the sales and run the company in 18 other hats, when he actually fired himself from sales, and I had another client that fired himself from operations, a year later, they both said, you know what? I wasn't really good at that anyways. Now I have a professional doing it. And I think that if you're going to run a company you're proud of, you need the best players and the best positions to succeed.
Absolutely. And it's about when I'm listening to you talk, and it's just I'm seeing a visual of freeing up and creating this space around you for you to just breathe for a minute or to have some peace to re energize and get creative again and not be so bogged down by those 101 things swirling around your mind. It's so important.
Well, it's funny because some of my clients I've worked with for years, and I used to develop my own playbooks and workbooks. And there's one client, bless him, Dan, I love you, and he would be like, "Oh, there's a typo on page 3. Oh, there's another one," and yeah, because I suck at that. I shouldn't be doing any of that. So now he doesn't find any typos because we've got the right people in the right seats.
I love it. And then quickly, one more question. How does an entrepreneur play their own game? I mean, there's so much noise out there. And like you said earlier, other people have TikTok and Instagram and this, and that person's doing that. It's like, how do you uniquely and really commit to your own individual unique value? How do you play your own game?
So I always say there's three things. There are three things that entrepreneurs need to play at the highest level. So if you want to just be an average entrepreneur, you can stop listening. But if you want to play at the highest level, you need three things, and you can't go 1 or 2 for 3. You need to go 3 for 3. Number one is you need somebody that's going to hold you accountable. Often when owners come to me, they're like, there's nobody holding me accountable. Like they're the king or the queen of the organization. You need somebody to hold them accountable. Yes, I think a coach is the best way. Yeah, surprise, surprise, a coach says that. But I've also had a coach for 20 years, a variety of coaches. I highly, highly, highly recommend having a coach because the people that play at the highest level have a really good coach on their team. I don't care if it's from athletics or from business. The story of the lone wolf doing it all on their own is total BS. So number one, you need somebody to hold you accountable and coach you. Number two, because we all have blind spots, right? So number two is you need a community of like-minded people. When we go as business owners, family-owned business owners, in our day-to-day, we're usually the 1% that everybody else is like bitching about their jobs. And we're like, yeah, I can't relate. I can't relate. Family dinners. So we need a community of other people that get it. So highly, highly recommend. There's lots of phenomenal group programs and entrepreneur groups. Join one. So number two is you need community. Number three, you need the right tools. So you can read the book, but then if you don't have the right tools and have community and hold somebody accountable, good luck. So you need coaching, somebody to hold you accountable to your blind spots. You need community and you need the tools, and you need to go 3 for 3.
And having that coach and that community is it's like a way for you to stay grounded in your unique value, right? And cut out all that noise, because then you're then investing your time and your thinking space in people who understand your individuality, who are connected to your value and are truly there to help support you, support your clients. So,
And
yeah.
that's why, like, I would never hire a coach who doesn't have a coach. My coach, Todd Herman, he wrote The Alter Ego. He did the Black Mamba with Kobe, works with professional athletes and entrepreneurs. He has helped me tremendously, tremendously. There's so many things and opportunities that were right in front of me that I didn't see and we wouldn't see unless we had somebody to hold us accountable.
Amazing. Well, thank you. Now, what do you want people to do after they read your book? What's the call to action here? How is their life going to be different? What should they do?
So don't just put it on the shelf. Like, I've read a ton of business books and then I'm like, okay, that's done. And then I never apply anything. It's not knowing more, it's actually doing more and applying it. So I don't want you to put it on the shelf. And one of the things for me, my favorite books, I'm going back and rereading them because I'm a different person now than when I read them. So the one thing I want them to do is pick one thing from this book and apply it for 30 days. Apply it for 30 days and then ask yourself these questions. What were the wins? What was the challenge? And what's the one thing I do differently? Because nothing changes until we take action. So don't just read it, pick one thing, not 18 things, apply it for 30 days, and you let me know how it goes.
I was just gonna say, and then can they take it a step further and sort of message you or email you and say,
Ah,
"Hey, I did this," and this is
yeah.
how I did it?
So I hang out a lot on LinkedIn. And so the people that know me, I do a live broadcast every Monday morning at 8:30. But I'm on LinkedIn, message me there, email. Yeah, I'd love to
Great.
hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, not just the good stuff.
Well, I am gonna take you up on that offer.
Yeah, let me know which one you pick. I'll keep you accountable, Suvi. I know your number.
I was really just asking for me, so forget everybody else. This is all about me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shawn, I've heard you speak, and it really is such a unique and rewarding experience. I always walk away with a ton of value. So you are only doing a limited amount of events. So how can people get involved? How can they come see you speak or book you in for one of their upcoming events?
Yeah, so good question. So, and thank you for the kind words. My old life, I used to travel all over. I live in airplanes and stages, and without follow up, nothing changes. And that really bothered me. So, yes, I'm doing a limited amount of speaking events this year, anywhere between 10 and 12. It doesn't have to be these big, huge conferences, but here are a couple things for people that this message really resonates. If you have your own peer group, entrepreneurial peer group, I would love to speak to them or their chapter or their quarterly meetings or their big ass conferences because that's who this book is for. So your peer groups, the groups that you're already in. Another great opportunity is you think of the clients that you have, the business that you run, take ridiculously good care of your clients beyond selling them stuff. Most of my clients, they host VIP events for their best clients. I would love to speak at one of those. The only rule is you're not selling your stuff. You're just doing that as a thank you. I've done that for 2 clients and they loved it. And their clients they were all waiting for the sales pitch at the end and there was no sales pitch. And then the third way is if you have like, you're a business leader, what are the events that you go to every year? What are the big ass conferences? Um, hey, how about you calling them and going, "Hey, I got this guy, Shawn Shepherd, and not only will, hopefully, that will work out, but then you're the star. You're the one that actually brought me in." So those are the 3 groups that I'm a really good fit for. And there's team packages on my website. If you want to buy 10 books for your team, if you want to buy 50, 100, way cheaper than ordering them on Amazon. And there's also the customized speaking packages. But again, those are very, very limited. So there's a form online that you can fill out at ShawnShepherd.com.
Absolutely. And it is such a great investment. And to be able to just actually get you for a date and to book you in and have you is like a miracle. So I love all this information. Thank you so much for telling me all about your new pocketbook. I think it's just brilliant. And I know it's so many people out there are going to benefit from it and appreciate it. I love that you could just stick it in your back pocket and off you go. That's more accountability for you to finish and read the book, right? Like your client
Yeah.
said, it's the first book I read in 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. And don't tell me you don't have room in your carry on. You do.
Well, thank you so much, Shawn. I can't wait to see when people follow up with you after picking one thing from the book, putting it into play for 30 days, and then letting you know their feedback. I think it'll be really fun to hear what everyone's up to and how that experience went for them. So share that with me too.
I will. And that's That's really the core of it. I don't wanna write a book that you're gonna read and never look at again. My goal is when I see you in person, like, please come and say hello, but I don't care if it's at an airport, at the mall, or wherever, sporting events, whatever, a Bruins game. Say, "Hey, you know what? I read this book. I did the one thing for 30 days and the change." That's what I wanna hear. I don't wanna just hear I read the book. Anybody can read a book, right? So
Well, there you go, coaching again, and that's why it's so amazing to be with you because you are all about holding people accountable. Like, there's no getting away from you.
yeah, you know
Well,
that firsthand, Suvi, so, yeah.
well, thank you so much, Shawn. I just can't wait to see what you're gonna do next, honestly.
Alright, I appreciate you taking the time.